When I turned 26, the family that had vanished from my life 16 years earlier suddenly resurfaced. Their unexpected return stirred a storm of emotions within me, making me question everything about myself as if I had become someone entirely different. As the eldest child, I grew up in what seemed like a loving home with two younger siblings, one 3 years my junior and the other 5 years younger. We shared the usual family moments, cooking together, watching movies, playing games. Life felt normal until my father lost his job when I was 9. Wrongly accused of misconduct, he was fired unjustly, leaving my mother, who worked as a school staff member, struggling to support us on her own. One evening, my parents sat me down with solemn expressions. "We've made a decision," my father said gently. "You'll stay with your grandparents for a little while, just until we get back on our feet." At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. I liked the idea of spending time with my grandparents. That summer, I enjoyed life on their farm, helping with the animals and taking in the countryside. But what was meant to be a temporary arrangement soon became permanent. As the school year approached, my parents reassured me that they were making arrangements for my return. I waited. A few extra days turned into weeks, then months. Every time I tried to reach them, I was met with silence or vague promises. "Why haven't they called?" I asked my grandmother one day, my voice laced with anxiety. "They're probably just busy," she replied, her tone dismissive. "They'll get in touch when they can." But they never did. Desperate for answers, I even attempted to file a missing persons report, only for my grandparents to brush it off as an overreaction. The realization of my abandonment hit me hard. Left with no other choice, I begged my grandparents to enroll me in school. They eventually agreed, but adapting to my new reality was far from easy. Then, one evening, everything changed. I overheard my grandmother speaking in hushed tones on the phone. "Is she doing okay in school?" my mother asked. "She's fine," Grandma replied. "I don't know how much longer we can keep this up." Hearing my mother's voice after so long sent a jolt through me. Without thinking, I ran into the room, heart pounding. "Mom, Mom, is that you?" Silence, then, click, the call ended. Frantically, I grabbed the phone, shouting into the receiver, hoping she'd still be there. My grandmother turned to me, her face a mixture of frustration and worry. "Go to your room," she snapped. Tears burned my eyes as I demanded answers. "Why didn't you tell me? Why have you been lying to me?" She didn't respond. Shortly after that, my grandparents sent me to live with a distant aunt, someone I had never met before. The reason? I was never given one. My aunt, my mother's cousin, turned out to be a kind-hearted woman. She welcomed me with open arms, and for the first time in years, I felt safe. "I don't know why your parents never came back for you," she admitted one evening, "but I promise, you'll never be alone again." From the moment I moved in with her at 13, she became the mother figure I had lost. She encouraged me to talk about my feelings, even suggesting therapy when she saw how deeply my past had scarred me. At first, I resisted, but eventually, I gave in. Therapy helped me process the pain and understand that my abandonment was not my fault. By the time I graduated high school, my aunt had become my strongest support system. She helped me pursue my dream of becoming a veterinarian, her own profession. When I turned 21, I made a life-changing decision. Sitting across from her, I slid adoption papers across the table. "You've been more of a mother to me than anyone else," I told her. "I want you to be my legal parent." Tears welled in her eyes as she reached for my hand. I'd be honored. With her by my side, I finally found the stability I had longed for. Fast forward a few years, I completed my degree and started working as a veterinary intern. I moved into my own apartment. Though I visited my aunt whenever I could, life felt peaceful. Then, 2 days ago, my past knocked on my front door. Expecting a package, I opened it casually, only to find my estranged parents and youngest brother standing before me. Their faces were unfamiliar yet painfully recognizable. I froze. My father spoke first. "We need to talk." They handed me a letter from my grandparents, claiming I had abandoned them, refused to stay in contact, and caused them emotional distress. Then came the real reason for their visit. "We need your help," my mother said. "Your brother's education, it's too expensive. You're a doctor now, you have to help." I stared at them in disbelief. "I didn't run away," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "You sent me away. Why should I be responsible for him?" "We don't have anyone else," my father insisted. "If you refuse, we'll take legal action." A bitter laugh escaped me. Legal action? Against someone you abandoned for 16 years? When they refused to leave, I called the cops. They're not my parents, I told the officers. Legally, I'm my aunt's daughter now. The authorities issued them a warning, but it didn't stop the harassment. My social media was flooded with hateful messages from family members, calling me selfish and ungrateful. When I told my aunt everything, she asked me a single question. Are you sure you did the right thing? I didn't know how to answer. Days later, my parents appeared at my workplace, causing a scene. Security had to escort them out. The weight of their sudden reappearance and their relentless pursuit of money drained me. Maybe you should talk to them, for closure, my therapist suggested. I resisted for a long time, but eventually, I agreed. I met them, with my aunt beside me. Their explanation was as heartbreaking as it was infuriating. We sent you away because we couldn't afford to keep you, my father admitted. And when things got better? I asked. He hesitated. We just couldn't afford to bring you back. No, they wanted my money. You're only here because you think I owe you, I said coldly. My mother sighed. We thought maybe you'd feel guilty. Her words stung, but I refused to waver. I don't owe you anything, I said firmly. If you come near me again, I'll take legal action. Ignoring their pleas for forgiveness, I walked away. I felt nothing for them anymore. If I could erase them from my memory, I would. Now, time has passed, the messages have stopped, my family has disappeared from my life once more. Meanwhile, I've completed my internship and am looking ahead to a new residency program, one that will take me even further away from the ghosts of my past. As I prepare to take the AVMA, American Veterinary Medical Association, exam, I hold on to the hope that my future will be bright. I won't deny that sometimes I wish my relationship with my parents had turned out differently, but I've come to terms with the fact that my aunt is the only parent I truly need. She's been more of a mother to me than the one who gave birth to me ever was. They abandoned you, lied to you, and left you behind without a second thought. My aunt often reminds me, you owe them nothing, you're only giving them the same treatment they gave you. A year passed, and just as I thought things had settled, a new issue arose, my sister-in-law. She was a few years younger than me, yet I expected her to act with some level of maturity. Unfortunately, I was wrong. The trouble started when I began dating my husband. We met by chance while he was helping me move, and after chatting at a local bar, we quickly hit it off. Despite how happy we were, my sister-in-law never seemed to approve of our relationship. She once warned me, my brother never gets serious about anyone, don't get your hopes up. I braced myself for the worst, but 6 years later, we are still together, and he is, without a doubt, the love of my life. The rest of his family, his parents and extended relatives, have been nothing but welcoming. So, I could never quite understand why my sister-in-law held such animosity toward me. Her dislike for me became even more evident during our wedding 2 years ago. Because of her ongoing coldness and snide remarks, I chose not to include her as a bridesmaid. She didn't take it well. If I'm not part of the bridal party, I won't even attend the wedding, she declared dramatically. To avoid unnecessary drama, I reluctantly made her a bridesmaid. Even then, she showed up in a white floral dress, causing an uproar. My in-laws were furious and forced her to change, warning her that she would be excluded from future family gatherings if she didn't. Either change, or don't come to any more family events, they told her. My husband later told me she eventually apologized, and for a moment, I thought she had put her immaturity behind her. I was wrong. When I found out I was pregnant, I was ecstatic. My husband and I couldn't wait to share the news, and our families were just as thrilled, except for my sister-in-law. Instead of celebrating with us, she constantly shifted the focus to herself. At a family gathering where we made our big announcement, she immediately made it about her own experience. Oh, you're lucky, she sighed. I had to go through pregnancy all alone. Still, I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, so when she offered to host my baby shower, I initially felt grateful. But things quickly took a strange turn when she insisted the party be held at a venue 1,200 miles away. She claimed it was a surprise, hosted at a luxurious location owned by a friend, and assured us we wouldn't have to pay for anything. But something felt off. When I voiced my concerns, my husband reassured me. She's just trying to do something nice for us, he said. I think you're overthinking it. With his encouragement, I agreed to go. I traveled there with my aunt, while my in-laws, who were out of the country, couldn't attend. The moment I arrived, I knew something wasn't right. The venue was beautifully decorated, but the guests were mostly strangers. Then, to my shock, I noticed another pregnant woman wearing the exact same white dress my sister-in-law had gifted me. That's when I realized this wasn't my baby shower. My sister-in-law had tricked me into attending a completely different event for her friend. Humiliated and hurt, I left in tears. My husband confronted her immediately. It was just a misunderstanding, she insisted. But we both knew better. She's always been manipulative, my husband admitted. When his parents heard about what happened, they were livid. They had financially supported her for years, but after this, they decided enough was enough. We've helped you long enough, they told her, you're on your own now. She had relied on them for financial stability, but now they cut her off completely. They even warned her not to come back until she learned to take responsibility for her actions. She, of course, blamed me for everything, but I never asked my in-laws to stop supporting her. That was entirely their decision. Despite her attempts to play the victim, I refused to feel guilty for the consequences of her own actions. She's not struggling, my husband reminded me. She just needs to learn how to live within her means and manage her boutique on her own. If my parents truly believed their grandchild was in need, they wouldn't let them suffer. They simply want my sister-in-law to grow up and take accountability for once. She needs to stop blaming you, he said. She's had more chances than she deserves. Through it all, he remained on my side. You don't have to forgive her or even acknowledge her again, he assured me. He even apologized for not stepping in sooner to set firmer boundaries. Thankfully, my kind mother-in-law planned a real baby shower for me, a beautiful celebration meant to replace the disaster my sister-in-law had caused. We'll make sure this one is perfect, she promised. But once again, my sister-in-law managed to ruin things. On the day of the party, everything was going wonderfully. The decorations were lovely, the food was amazing, and we were surrounded by loving friends and family. Then she showed up, completely uninvited. Having found out about the event through social media, she stormed in, furious. How can they throw you a party while they refuse to help me financially? She shouted, causing a scene in front of all the guests. That was the last straw for my mother-in-law. That's enough, you're leaving, she said, calmly but firmly. She escorted her out and apologized to everyone for the disruption. Afterward, my in-laws repeatedly apologized to me, even suggesting I take legal action against her. While I'm hesitant to go that far, my husband and I have agreed to keep all information about our baby off social media to prevent her from causing more trouble. The whole ordeal is exhausting, and I can't understand why she is so obsessed with competing with me. She ruined not just one but 2 baby showers out of sheer jealousy. I do know that my in-laws weren't initially supportive of her pregnancy because she had a child out of wedlock, which went against their traditional values. Though they came around after the baby was born, it's clear my sister-in-law still holds resentment. Since the shower, I haven't heard from her, and my in-laws have made it clear that they're done with her behavior. Frankly, I don't care anymore. I just want to move on and focus on my baby. It's unbelievable how entitled she is, my husband said, shaking his head. I agreed. She's shown time and time again that she's manipulative, selfish, and unwilling to change. I refuse to waste another moment thinking about her. 2 of 2.